5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You're listening to Tabletop and Beyond with your host, Justin.
But before we get started, how was your Geek Week?
And co-hosts Dan and Jason.
You have to be willing to let the dice help you tell the story.
Okay, look, this year I'm going to stop mispronouncing words. Join us as we cover board games to war games and beyond.
And welcome back to Tabletop and Beyond. This is your host, Justin. I am joined by Dan today.
Hey, are we back? We left and then we came back?
Yeah, we're here, man.
I was here the whole time, just very quietly judging you.
Unfortunately, we had Jason bow out at the last minute, but not to be feared, we will be back shortly in a post-GenCon wrap-up because today, my friends, is the GenCon preview for Tabletop and Beyond and all of its hosts.
Woohoo!
I don't know about you, Dan, but I am very excited for GenCon.
It still feels like a dream. We're leaving the day after tomorrow, and it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. Are you packed? No, but laundry. I'm ahead of the game on laundry. Let me just say that.
Yeah, me too. But that's more thanks to my wife.
And let me say I'm not pleased about the mask packing that I have to do.
Right.
Yeah, and the card immunization card packing.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to go find mine. It's somewhere.
I know. I've been reminding everybody to do things on Discord about like all the little things, and no one's listening.
Yeah. Definitely.
Sorry. You responded. Everybody else ignored me, so thank you.
I do need to get some groceries put together.
Yeah, we've got logistics to our fans. We've got logistics we got to run because this is a team sport.
It is, and I'm looking forward to it. But before we get into all of that, Dan, how was your Geek Week?
My Geek Week was real simple. We've talked a lot about Star Wars West Marches. I got to play as a player. I got to use XP that I accumulated as a GM, and I don't think that was game breaking at all. It seemed fine. Orama. And my daughter wants to run a D&D game for her my daughter who's 13 wants to run a D&D game for her brother who is 9 and his older cousin online who's about 11. And so we made a D&D character for a 9-year-old on Sunday, which was super charming.
Oh, that's cool.
It's always fun to like do something for the first time with somebody who has like no idea what's going on or what choices they're making, and he certainly did enjoy all the dice he had to roll. He made a Genesee. What are those elemental humans? The genocide. I want to say Genesis, and that's not right. But anyway, there's a race of elemental people, and he's a fire dude, and he's a sorcerer. And he has fire sorcery powers, and he's got a little draconic heritage in him. And
nice.
He's a classic 9-year-old D&D character. And how can you go wrong? I think I just want to be his barbarian sidekick.
There you go.
I just want to be a beatstick sidekick.
Yep.
So, but
everybody needs one of those.
Because I'm sure I'll be managing all of his spell slots when we play.
That's right. You're kind of like the magic version of his valet.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, instead of carrying all of his weapons, you're just carrying his spell slots.
Yes. It's like, what do? Put a check mark there and magic missile again.
That's right. That's good. So are you are you playing with him? Like when is that happening?
I think it's going to be a post-GenCon thing.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of a virtual hybrid game. I got one more other quick Geek Week thing. I'd mentioned it before, maybe on Discord. I purchased a circular camera. Now, at work we have the owls. They're $1,000, and the owl listens to who's ever talking, and it makes a 360 picture of the room, and it pans to. And there's different ways to set it up, but the camera will find you in a frame if you're talking. I didn't want to blow $1,000. I found a pretty decent circular camera microphone setup that I use not only for using in the middle of the RPG table, but also I use it for some teaching that I do on the side when I have to set up a virtual classroom and I want the people on Zoom to feel like they're actually in the room. So I do have a double use for it, and it has worked out great. One of the problems with hybrid games is where do you put the camera, where's the microphone, who's pointed at what.
Right.
And what this has a bunch of different modes. I found it on Amazon for about $80, but it does a rectangle with one stripe of 180 degrees and another stripe underneath it with another 180 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And so the people who are on Zoom can see everybody and can hear everybody. I put it on a teeny tiny little tripod in the middle of the table, and it works like a dream.
For $80.
For $80, which beat the heck out of the $1,000 owl, and that's not even the best owl. That's like the entry level owl.
Thanks, U.S. government, for spending that $1,000.
Yeah, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, just just Google conference room owl, and you'll see them. They look like owls because they're the shape of an owl, and they have creepy little LED eyes that light up. They look like
spooky.
An owl. This is a lot less creepy. It looks kind of like a little white flying saucer on a tripod, and so yes, for hybrid games. One of the problems is only one person is going to be facing the camera and the monitor. Everybody else is going to be turning around to look at the monitor. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a problem. I think it's only a problem if you're the poor guy that has to call in virtually. So our GM was virtual, and we had our good friend Dan from New Mexico call in.
Oh, hey, that's nice.
And I think we really I think we've overcome one of the biggest humps of hybrid RPGs. Mm-hmm. So super excited about it, and it was only an $80 investment, and I think I've already got my money's worth out of it. I've used it for RPGs 2 or 3 times now.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, listen, the hybrid model is like the worst. And I thought we did an okay job during GuildCon 2 years ago with Jason's setup, right? That worked out, but it was only one guy calling in. But it sounds like your little machine solves that problem pretty well, which is great.
Yeah, it solves the who's talking, and it's just easy. I think it's. I'm getting really positive feedback from the people who are calling in.
Nice.
We still have the problem that side conversations drowned out the main conversation, and that's always a problem with hybrid unless everybody has like weird microphones and you mute yourself and crap like that. I think that's one of the problems of hybrid is shutting your mouth, and I have that problem teaching too. I have to remind my students. I'm like, all your side conversations are clogging up the internet pipe. So if it's a really cool game and everybody's into it, everything that everybody has to say is super valid. And so I don't think it came up very much in the game that we played last week. So hybrid gaming is a new thing, and we kind of need a new tool set. But having everyone face the monitor and look at the camera, and having only 170 degree field of vision in an old traditional camera was just a huge pain in the butt. And I think I've turned the corner, and I'm really pleased.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Well, I really only have one thing for my Geek Week. I mean, I had my mom come into town for a little bit and finished up some rugby stuff, and so it was kind of a busy week. So the good news is that rugby season is over until next March. So that means that I get more time for gaming, which is awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
But the main Geek Week thing is that my children have finally discovered Stranger Things.
Oh, wow. Well, good.
So
better late than never.
Yes, exactly. So we tried to show my 15-year-old Stranger Things like maybe 3 years ago, and she, like, the first scene freaked her out so much, she's like, I can't do this. And I'm like, really? It's like not that. I mean, it was pretty intense, right? The very first scene where the dude's like trying to escape the elevator and
running down the hallway.
Yeah. It's pretty intense, right? She's like, I can't do this. But now she's like, it's really not that scary. It's just more suspenseful, and there's like some intense parts, obviously. But she really likes the story, so we have been binging this thing, and I realized that I should have been putting models together while I watch this with her, because like I'm just like watching it with her. And
It's not as good. Stranger Things is not as good as audio listening. I found you got to be a little bit more engaged for it to be good.
So, and I haven't seen the 4th season yet.
Oh, good.
And so like we're halfway through the 3rd season now. So.
Oh, you're well on your way.
Yes.
The characters are so charming. The acting is so great. You really feel like a member of their party, for lack of better terms. There's gamer stuff everywhere, which is always brings me joy. And my teenage daughter, who's 17, loves Stranger Things, and she always like cringes during the D&D stuff. She's like, "So you guys do that? You guys do that? You guys do that?"
You're like, "Well, I did do that back in the 1980s." Yes.
I'm like, "Well, you seem to be really into this show, which is 80% based on D&D.
Right.
So stop throwing stones, 17-year-old girl who's shaming me high school style."
That's right. Yeah. And just let her know that, hey, listen, the incredible meteoric rise of D&D over the last 5 years has like a direct correlation with Stranger Things.
Exactly.
So.
And I remind her, if she gives me any more crap, she'll never get a car. It's real simple.
That's right. Duh. Hello. You can only poke the bear too often.
Exactly. Oh, how about I turn off your phone? Okay.
Awesome. Very good on the Geek Week. Let's see what we got for Geek News.
All I have to say is, I know sound drop. No, we're bare bones today.
It's true, we are. We've been busy packing and getting ready.
The entire production staff is officially spread thin. We're spread really thin. So let's just get right into it. There's so much going on. I think it'll be better to talk about the things that stood out to us at GenCon, because this is the gamer news season. If you're coming to us for gamer news, I don't know where to tell you to get it. I really like N-World. They're fantastic. There's plenty on there, and there's plenty on Board Game Geek, because everything is just busting out. The one piece of news that can't go unnoticed from this podcast is the D&D movie that we've talked about at length over the years.
It is true.
If you're not aware, you must be living under a rock. But they released a pretty good trailer, and I walked away from the trailer wanting to see the movie, knowing it was coming, knowing who the cast was. I never wanted to see it more. So I like the vibe. I'm excited. It's lighthearted. It's lighthearted. It seems like it's going to be faithful to the source material. And, what else what could go wrong in a D&D movie, Justin? I don't know. What could go wrong?
So the internet was ablaze with frustrations and disgust that a druid tiefling could turn into an owlbear.
An owlbear? I didn't see the problem with that.
Apparently the rules as written are that you can't turn into a monstrosity, which is a owlbear. So they're like, "What? You can't do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, just wait. I'm sure Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast will make that happen."
I thought somebody found a loophole that they could, if it was the right spell slot.
I don't know, maybe. All I know is that like the internet was ablaze with it. So then not only did you have the people like, "You can't do that in D&D," you have the people like, "You can do whatever you want in D&D," right? And so there's like whole thing. Like I remember getting onto this Dads and Dungeons Facebook group that I'm in. And like someone posted something about like, "Hey, did anybody see the new trailer?" And there was like seriously like 500 comments in it, right? And like 250 of them I had to do with this owlbear, right? And I'm just like, wow, like that one like 2-second like scene in the trailer.
It was less than 2 seconds.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everyone missed everyone missed the forest for the trees.
Oh yeah.
That there's an owlbear in a major motion picture, which is a purely D&D creation, right? There's a straight up owlbear, and it looks amazing, and the CGI is great, and it's compelling, and they're rules lawyering it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I kind of distanced myself from Wizards of the Coast D20 games was because once upon a time they would come out with, like, let's say a book for, let's just say, a Star Wars game they used to run. And all of the guys used to go find all the NPCs and reverse engineer them to see if they were properly constructed. Like, what did he get at first level? What did he get? What did Vader get at third level? All that stuff. And did that actually match what happened in the movies? And I was like, guys, it's not that important. I hate to break the news to you. This is not that important. So I don't want to geek shame anybody. Everyone has their passion, but come on. It's popcorn.
Yeah, don't miss the forest from the trees, I think is definitely the point there, right? So, like, it looked great. I think Chris Pine's going to be a great bard. So
we had a moment of him playing the lute.
That's right.
That was the comic relief. So it was great.
That's right. The other news that I wanted to bring up was the release of Warcry 2.0, The Heart of Gur, that is coming out. Pre-orders started yesterday. They run through this week, and that means that the new edition will be dropping on Sunday the 14th, or I guess that weekend, Saturday the 13th, Sunday the 14th. So they have updated rules. They have updated abilities. They're planning to come out with a compendium which updates all of the stats and rules and points for all of the fighters that they have out there. Mm-hmm. Sounds great, right?
No, because I just bought a Red Harvest book.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, on eBay. I bought the Red Harvest book, so I can
nice.
have a rule book.
So actually, it'll come in handy, and I'll tell you why.
Oh boy.
So I have looked. I've seen a lot of spoilers about like what the new core rule book is containing. There's like a lot of people that have gotten their preview copy of the Heart of Gur that just came out, right? And honestly, like, this feels more like 1.5 edition than a 2.0.
Yeah.
And you're talking like the core rules basically are exactly the same with just a little bit of tweaks, right? So that Red Harvest book that you have will serve you well. Like some of the changes that they have is like if you pick up a treasure, you have -3 inches to your movement or maybe I think it's -2 inches to your movement to like a minimum of 3.
I read that. I was like, well, that's realistic. I like it.
Yeah, because you're carrying it, right? And like you can't do certain things and like all that. So
yeah,
honestly, like there wasn't that many changes, which I thought was great because I thought that Warcry has a nice, slim, sleek rule set. Like, it's pretty easy to play.
Yeah.
So I was worried about them tinkering with it too much.
Getting it too. Well, it's kind of the yin to the Age of Sigmar yang, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's great, and it's coming out now. The compendium, right? The compendium is supposed to be the book that has every single fighter listed in all of the books before, all the free rules that have come out, like all this stuff, right? So it's going to have every fighter in there, all the rules in one book. You're talking stat cards and abilities and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, the rumor is, and this is a pretty substantiated rumor, the rumor is that book's not coming out for months. That apparently there's probably print production problems.
Oh.
It was supposed to drop day 1, but then they announced, oh no, the box is coming out, and then the compendium will be out maybe around a month after that. And everybody's like, a month after? Like, that's garbage. Like, how are we supposed to know this stuff? Well, guess what? Games Workshop this week is literally releasing for free all of the rules online of the compendium.
Did you hear that there's a global paper shortage?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's lots of books being delayed right now.
Yeah. So basically, now's a great time to get into Warcry because I literally downloaded all of the orders. So that's like the Stormcast Eternals, the Dwarves, the Elves, like all those, all those good, the quote unquote good guys. Your Daughters of Cain have new free updated rules.
Yeah, and they're probably nerfed because they were great.
Actually, I haven't even really looked at them. From what I have seen, I think the points balances have been pretty good across the board. Like, things that probably were too expensive got an adjustment. Things that were too cheap got an adjustment. And some things got extra attacks, some things got, -1 toughness. So they've been balancing pretty well from what I've seen.
Well, and I hate to say it, but it's a lot harder to meta chase in a Games Workshop game than it is other games where, it's easier to own 6 factions. I'm not saying people don't do that in Games Workshop games. I know lots of people that do, but it's slightly less common than it would be. I'm going to say X-Wing, like.
Right.
Oh, guess what? The Empire's having that dog is having its day this month. Well, okay, I can meta shift to that. It'll cost me 0 money, 0 time to prep models, and out of 7 factions, if you've got 5, you're in good shape when even if the meta swings away from you completely.
Definitely.
So I think for this, it's like, well, if I only have 1 army, and the meta swings away from my 1 army, I'm still going to play the damn thing anyway.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, with Warcry, I mean, there's so many different factions that it's hard to swing in favor of one or the other. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, so the big question that I have had throughout this whole process is, what does this mean for the Nova Open? Because the problem is that you can only get the new Warcry 2.0 core rule book in the box set. You can't. And I think this is another issue, right? That they said, oh, you can buy the core rule book later, right? I think now I've heard a rumor, and this isn't as substantiated. I heard that they're releasing the rules online this week as well.
Okay.
So
is that good enough?
I think listen, if by the 14th. I know that's only 2.5 weeks before the Nova Open, before our event. But if by the 14th the rules are all online, all the fighter profiles are online with their reactions and all that stuff, then let's go, right? Like we'll make this a 2.0 tournament. Because I don't think that the rules have changed so significantly that it's throwing people's warbands completely away. I think maybe some people need to make a couple of tweaks, but not anything so significant that it's broken,
Yeah, the 0.5 stuff is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's not good to completely throw all that baby out with bathwater so frequently that no matter what, they're going to interrupt some good tournament, whether it's Nova Open or LVO. Timing it around tournaments is almost impossible considering publishing schedules. That's like the least thing. Sure. That's the least of their concerns. It's like once they have a definitive date and they can tell players what's actually happening, then they can go, okay, let's look at the calendar, let's mitigate this problem and come up with a solution. I think that's because of these delays and stuff like that. That's why you're going to get all the early digital access, which is very, very thoughtful and good of them, and props to them for thinking about their player base.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning to get the box that comes out because I'm a collector of the game, right? Like, I've got, like, all this stuff, and so I'm just kind of like, I'm going to get the box anyway. So, in it, I'll get the core rule book. And when the compendium eventually does come, it may be in, like, 3 months, it may be in 6 months, I'll probably end up getting that, too. And what I'll do with it is I will take that straight down to Kinko's, and I will have them spiral bound the crap out of that book.
Yeah,
and that way I can
flip
bring
through
it
without ripping. Break your own binding up front, and it's a smart way to go.
Oh yeah. So, Anyway, so that's kind of the news. Now here's kind of like one little anecdote. I've been busting my butt to like make Warcry a thing at the Nova Open,
Yeah.
And Games Workshop puts out this like, hey, here's some big events coming up, and they have this whole like. Nova Open is gonna be amazing, and like if you do well there, you can get tickets to like our big events. And they're gonna have all of our greatest Games Workshop games. They're gonna have 40K. They're gonna have Age of Sigmar. They're gonna have Kill Team. Come on out. ... And I'm like, what the crap, guys? Like, you're putting out a new edition, and I'm doing your heavy lifting by making this tournament. And you didn't even mention us. Like, Games Workshop. Like, what the crap?
Oh, you cut me deep.
Right?
Well, I'm sorry. The list of gamers who are mad at Gamers Workshop is a very long line.
I'm sure. Yes.
If you put every gamer head to toe, line them up, you would make it to the moon of everybody who's been pissed at them at one time or the other.
It's so true. Yeah, so but whenever I see a Games Workshop person, I'm going to have some words with them that weekend though. Like, "Hey, buddy, we got to talk."
Yeah.
You know, like we're trying to make
I
this a
think
thing
you
here.
should reach out to their PR team and just say, "Hey, as the guy who's running this event, it would have been nice if you had mentioned it." Or you could say, "If you update this or come out with another posting, wouldn't it be great if you mentioned Warcry 2?"
Yeah.
And then you might get more attention than you would have otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just put out a tweet. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. I just put out a tweet saying like, "Hey, we've still got spots open for our Warcry tournament at Nova Open 2022, right?"
Yeah.
I'm going to retweet this thing, and I'm going to tag the Warhammer community people that put out that article.
Yeah.
And be like, "Hey, by the way, just in case you want to snub us again," you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we do have spots open, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to start
That's
a
great.
flame war with Games Workshop.
Oh, that won't end in pain, now will it?
No, exactly. So, no, it'll be good times. Anyway, that's the news that I had. It was a little salacious and kind of fun, though.
Kind of edgy. Yeah,
Yes.
I get that. I like it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, Dan, the bags need to be packed in about 24 hours. The plans must be made soon. How are you feeling about your preparations for GenCon 2022?
Well, let me tell you, GenCon is a brocation with me and Nate.
Yep.
And plus all you guys, and we've just for the first time we VRBO'd a house, so we can report back on the pros and cons of staying at the hotel near the airport, 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
we had one buddy get hotels within walking distance because he was a super platinum space member of one of the chains, and so he got his room. The rest of us drove
right.
like schlep. We remember the days when GenCon had a shuttle that went out to all the satellite hotel spaces. So anyway,
Oh, dang.
yeah, that was
Before I went.
yeah, it was that. Yeah, exactly. They ended it when your first year was the year.
Oh,
it was the
okay.
year they got rid of
Maybe they knew I was coming. They're like, "Yeah, not that
like,
Smith guy."
No. He's gonna cramp our style. So there's lots of logistics. It's a huge convention. There's construction on the freeways around. There's so much construction around the freeways around Indianapolis that the city of Indianapolis put out a video for GenCon attendees to tell them what exits they should focus on using when they're getting on and off the freeway.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and the city of Indianapolis, I think they have done a marvelous job of welcoming gamers. Every year I've gone, I've always felt welcomed.
Agreed.
And included, and you can drive way out of the city and go to random places. They'll have a Gen Con sticker on the door that says, "We welcome Gen Con visitors," and stuff like that. And I remember the one year I flew in, I came down the escalator and there was just a giant dragon sticker that was probably, I don't know, 12 feet by 6 feet big on the floor. And it was, Indianapolis welcomes Gen Con. So they do a nice job, and they want gamers to keep coming back year after year, which I really appreciate. So it's a great town. We're going to stay downtown for the first time, so we'll report back to see how that went. It'll have pros, it'll have cons. We don't know, but we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yes. I was telling my wife the other day that, by the time we got up from the hotel, we had our breakfast and all that stuff. But by the time we, left the hotel, found parking, and then walked, it was a haul. It was a bit of a haul. And honestly, the walk from where we found decent parking to Gen Con, it was probably a 15-minute walk. Meaning that it was probably a good 3/4 to a mile.
Yeah.
Away already, and that's how far we're staying from Lucas Oil Stadium, so it's probably just a little bit longer to the actual convention hall.
Yeah.
Because you got to go around Lucas Oil Stadium. But, I still think from the time that we leave the VRBO to the time we get to the convention hall will still be less time than had we, got in the car and driven and found parking and all that stuff. And it's cheaper. We don't have to spend $30 a day or more in parking.
Yeah, and there might be other hidden costs that we don't know yet, but we'll tell our valiant listeners if you're going to a big convention what works and what doesn't work. So we're looking forward to breaking new ground as a gaming group and trying things a little differently, which is great.
How was your prep this year? Like, did you get into the events that you were looking forward to?
I did. So this is the first year I disengaged completely because of family and real life stuff. And
Yeah.
I was at a wedding in California when the events dropped.
Oh, right,
And
right.
so I knew that, and I just didn't care. I'm like, so like I said, it's a family brocation, What we do is after all the dust is settled and the computers are not locking down and you're not number 10,000 in line or whatever, what we did is we were a pretty good group of folks, pretty big group of folks, 5 or 6, 7, 8 people, and we try to do at least one thing together every day. And then we overlap other things as they come and they go.
Yeah.
So I had people just sign me up. So for those who don't know, you can friend people on the GenCon system and you can buy them tickets. So I owe a bunch of people money for tickets. They bought me a ticket and they said, okay, we're doing this on this day and you can just owe me later, and that's great. And then I had all these free time blocks that I had to go fill in. And what Nate and I did is we just went one day at a time and just said, hey, what are our rules this year? What do we want to do? And Nate said, I'm kind of burnt on RPG. So there are 2 RPGs built into the group things we were doing. We're like, that's it. It's 2 RPGs. That's it. And we're done. Everything else is board games or tabletop miniatures and stuff like that. And that helped us kind of zero in on stuff we wanted to try and do different. So he and I just went through and, we said, hey, look, there's 2 empty slots for this. That sounds good. And we just filled in everything that hadn't been filled in by the larger group. Are those the premier events at everything and every genre and every IP I want to get into? Probably not. But that wasn't really the goal. The goal is to, out of 80 events on the website for this block of time, 1 out of 80 is probably going to be pretty good. And I'm optimistic. And so I've got stuff pretty much planned the whole time.
What's like 1 or 2 events that you're really looking forward to?
I'm not gonna lie, you guys signed me up for Champions 5th edition, which is the OG superhero RPG. That sounds great. Nate was my GM many years ago for Champions 1st edition, so it'll be good fun to play that. It's been since the 90s that I played that game. Goonies Never Say Die Adventure 1. I like that. Sounds like fun stuff to me. Diplomacy Introduction 4th edition. So you and or our listeners may not know, Diplomacy is one of those OG strategy games that goes back 30 plus years. It's a really old strategy game. And
yeah,
it's alive and well.
I've been wanting to try that, and I just couldn't fit it into the schedule. But
Yeah.
what day when are you playing that?
I'm doing it Friday evening at 8 p.m. It's a 4-hour.
Okay.
The introduction game is a 4-hour game.
Ooh, 8 to midnight.
Yeah, 8
Hardcore,
to midnight.
buddy.
So, Diplomacy is well known for being a game that ends friendships. So I'm playing with my brother. We're stuck genetically for a long time to come. So that should be great. So those are kind of the big ones. There's a BattleTech game. We signed up, a grinder. There'll be a lot of, death and rebirth BattleTech. It's been a long time since I played BattleTech as well. So on my thing, there's no game I play regularly on my entire itinerary except for there's Genesis system, but it's Twilight Imperium, and
nice.
We
Okay.
do play narrative dice when we play Star Wars. We played a lot of Genesis. I've run Genesis games. It's great. That's the only game on here that I could say, yeah, that's one I could just sit down and start playing right now. So everything else is just out there. I mean, we're messing around with things like Splendor, Marvel Edition, Lords of Waterdeep, all kinds of just stuff. Star Wars Villainous, casual play,
Nice.
We're just throwing everything at it. One game called Epic Card Game Duels, you get to walk out, you get the cards, and they give it to you for free. So it's a 2-hour thing, and you get It's a TCG style card game. You pay. I think the tickets were pretty moderately priced. Oh no, the cost was $0, and you walk away with a copy of the game. So that was very fun. So, and if it sucks, it's a free game. So.
For sure.
What a cool model. I mean, think about that. If you came up with a cheap board game or a cheap card game, go to Gen Con, do 20 sessions and give a copy away and get some word of mouth going. Get the game out there.
Yeah, that's great. I took the same approach that you did, right? In that if I could play this game at home, why play it there?
Yeah.
Right? Like if I've got access to it at home. Now, granted, like if there's a game that I have on my shelf that I just never get to play.
Yeah.
Because of whatever reason, then maybe I would play it there. However, I was fortunate to find plenty of games that I have not played. I am going to be very RPG heavy this time. I think I've got 5 RPG sessions in the weekend. So I've got a Zweihander game. Have you heard of that one?
No. You are like 100 times more adventurous than I am when it comes to trying new stuff. I think it's because my tastes are very locked in from 1994, and I'm not very good at getting outside of my taste.
Yeah. So I remember being at GenCon 2019 and seeing the Zweihander book come out.
Oh yeah.
And like everybody was like flocking to the booth, and I'm like, dude, that looks amazing. And it's kind of like in the time of like Joan of Arc,
sure.
Like in terms of like you're like medieval European. In fact, this one is like the nation of Vichy. Vichy France has like made preparations for the arrival of the Golden Messiah, right? So like,
fun.
It's kind of like low epic fantasy and grim dark fantasy, like all in one. So this is it's set during the 100 Years' War. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it to try it because I'd heard things about it, but it's like, when do I get to play as Zweihander, right? Like,
well, and you've lived in France, and you've got a geographical
totally.
mind and a historical mind for what was going on when in that period, and so you'll probably get a little bit more out of it than the average bear.
Total kick out of it, for sure. Let's see, I'm playing in an Urban Shadows game. Jason talked me into that one. Urban Shadows is kind of like, he explained it like, it's like as if supernatural was a thing.
Oh,
where like
good.
There's like the world, and then like there's like supernatural things going on. But then there's also like politics surrounding those things. So he said that there's a lot more like diplomacy stuff and social interactions than just like fighting, between a lot of different factions.
Interesting.
We signed up for this thing. It's on Friday night at 6 p.m. and it's a system called Nowhereville, first edition, and it's an indie game, and it's an RPG, and it's called Are Those Bite Marks? So
wink, wink.
Yeah, so the description is, today what appears to be an animal attack has left a resident badly injured. A bunch of town folks insist it must have been a stray dog, but it's never that simple in Nowhereville. So we're like, dude, let's try it. Let's just go. I have no idea what this is going to produce. It could be terrible. But, like you and Jason did Mothership at a Catacon.
Yeah, well, going out on a limb can be amazing. You never know.
Yep. Let's see. I've got just got a couple things like that, and then I've got Jason and I are finally signed up for a Starfinder game.
Yeah.
Which is a sci-fi Pathfinder, right?
Yeah.
And we said, let's just try it. So we jumped into a session on Sunday morning. We're staying through Sunday.
Yeah.
This time, and so that'll be good. The other big highlight that I want to say is that there is a Warcry Open tournament that is happening on Saturday afternoon. I'm very excited for that because since I'm running the Nova Open Warcry tournament, I don't get to play in that one. I do get to play in this one though.
I think I saw that on your schedule. I was excited that you had that going.
It'll be fun because it's the nice thing about Warcry is you can play the entire tournament in what is like a normal afternoon block. So
Yeah.
we've still got stuff to do in the morning and still got stuff to do in the afternoon. Like, you don't have to use up your entire weekend playing in a tournament.
I know a lot
So-
of people who play the big tournaments for X-Wing and for other games where they feel like they miss out on the whole convention because they're so locked into the competitive play, and then before they know it, it's over, and there's where they get knocked out and they didn't schedule to do anything on Saturday, and everything is booked on Saturday.
Yep.
So
Yep.
this is my pro tip, folks. Write it down. If you go to GenCon or some of these other big conventions, book yourself all day on the Saturday, on the peak day. Because if you're just like, oh, I'll wander around and find something, that works fine on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better on Thursday than it does on Friday. Sunday,
Yeah.
I've never really done because we always have to travel to get back to work on Monday. But Saturday is a bear if you don't have a place to be. You're going to find yourself wandering around the dealer hall shoulder to shoulder. At least that was pre-COVID. I can't speak for post-COVID.
I have a feeling it's going to be the same. I have a feeling it's going to be that busy. So, but look, we are around this weekend. We're going to have our phones with us. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. If you guys are coming to Gen Con, hit us up. Let's meet in the vendor hall or something like that. We'd love to meet anybody who's listening to our show. Jason and I will be wearing some Tabletop and Beyond shirts. You might see us giving out some cards to folks just to get them excited about the podcast. So
You guys printed shirts?
yeah.
Why didn't you get? Why am I finding about it? Why am I finding out about this on the air?
Tell me afterwards. I'll get you a shirt.
No, don't
My
worry
buddy's
about it.
printing
We're out
them
of
tomorrow.
time.
My buddy's printing them tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk.
So, yeah, for sure.
Man,
So
I always get cut out. You guys cut me out of everything.
we do not. We do not.
I always feel
So-
left out.
Well, I'm excited for Gen Con. What time are you guys leaving in the morning on Wednesday?
4:30 in the morning.
Nice. That's about when we're leaving, so we'll probably see you.
But let's be honest. We don't
We're
have
gonna be
to.
leaving at 5:30.
We don't have to pick anybody up.
That's true.
So we're going to be on the freeway, lickety split. So
Well, that's if Dan Pomeroy gets out of the door at 4:30 in the morning.
was I late the last time we rode together?
Yes,
How late was I?
like half an hour.
No. Really?
Yeah, I pulled up, dude, and you're like, I just got up. I haven't taken a shower. Give me like a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay, that's true. That happened. All right. You're right. That happened. Guilty as charged.
It was all good though.
Yeah.
We still got there. We still got there just fine. We always have stopped when I've ridden with Jason. We stop at an ice cream shop in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, and I've stopped there too. Come on,
That's
man.
right.
I was
Let's
with
go.
you.
That's right. We stopped there because it was a catacomb. No. We didn't. stop
No,
there
did you
when we
ride
went
in
to-
my van that one year? Were you in the big gray van?
I was not.
Oh.
I was not.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it might have been. You guys might have gone after the year after I did, and Jason and I stopped because when I was like, I hear there's a really good ice cream place, and we found it. So this was like 2018, 2019, something like that. And
Yeah.
so maybe afterwards they're just like, we gotta stop at the ice cream place.
Yeah, we're gonna
So-
race you there on Wednesday morning.
That'll be great.
This is gonna be a race. So the first person to post on Discord eating ice cream at that one stop before they open, that'll be the thing.
That's right. That'll be good. Oh, by the way, did you see the note about signing up for the Wednesday night game?
What?
There's a Wednesday night board game at 7:00 that we signed up for. It's a free ticket too.
What?
Yeah.
Are you guys doing stuff
Jason?
and not telling me again?
No, Jason posted it in the Discord.
Oh, Gen Con 2022.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. All right.
Yeah.
That might
So
happen.
we're totally gonna do it because like if we leave at 4:30 in the morning, even if we stop and get something for lunch, like we'll be there at like 3:30. So by the time we pick up our badges and all that stuff, like and get some dinner, like we're ready to play a game.
I
do
may
it.
be picking up somebody from the airport.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably why I shouldn't do that.
Fair enough. Hey, it's a free ticket though, so you can always cancel it.
Yeah, or I can play the game and send Sean to go pick him
There
up.
you go. Sorry, Sean. Hope you don't hear this before Wednesday.
Well, I'm actually not driving. He's driving. It's his car. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so he has to go pick him up.
Yeah,
then.
I don't.
Yeah, obviously. That's great. That's great. All right. Well, I'm super excited. I don't know about you, buddy. Like I'm stoked. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting away from it all. If you know what I mean.
This is my first convention since like COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, because I didn't go last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Neither have I. Yeah, I haven't gone since COVID either. So.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
All right, let's stop talking about it. Next time we get together with our listeners, we'll be talking about it, and we will have probably an episode that goes extra long with all of our war stories of going to this great convention that we're hoping will receive. We'll be experiencing all of its former glory in 2022, comparably to 2019, and that's the goal, right?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
That's
Stay
it.
frosty. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll see you in Indianapolis.
All right, everybody. Hey, listen, if you're going to be in GenCon, hit us up. Like, we'd love to see you. We'd love to meet you. So get us on Twitter. Get us on Facebook. Join our Discord. We can coordinate stuff through Discord. And, that'd be great. So we'll see you all out on the GenCon floor. Have a good night, everybody.
See you. Bye.